Hi there, I'm Rai from Vanimal, and today I'm going to be showing you how to assemble the corner racking Makpac system. So as you can see, we have everything laid out. We have the bulkhead section here and we have the side section here. We're going to start by assembling the bulkhead as this is easier to do, and then we'll move over to the second racking after. Now, as another method of identifying which part goes to which, looking at the bulkhead, we can see that the bulkhead sections, they're all the same length and they're the longer of the two panels. With that being said, we're ready to move over to start to assembly. We'll start with the top shelf, working our way down, and the internal side is always going to be the rough edge on the phenolic. So to start assembly of the top shelf, we've laid the panels out, as you can see. We need to make note that the rough texture is the inside of each shelf and the smooth is the side that you're going to see. With that being said, we're going to start by putting the dividers in the base and then move on to lifting that forward into the front section and then lifting the back section on, and we're going to do that with every single shelf going forward. So starting with the dividers, we have the shorter end here and that goes towards the front. That's this wavy section here, and this large back goes towards the back. So it's going to go in like so, and then we're just going to tap that in just to make sure it's fully seated. Do the same thing another 3 times. So now we're going to fit the front fascia panel. So again, the rough side on the inside, bring that up. Now I'm going to flip that forward and put the back panel on. Making sure the straight edge that's all the way down it is on the bottom. Now to secure the shelf all together in one solid piece, we're going to screw in. We already have drill marks on the panel, so those are the locations of your screws. You've got 4 on the back, 4 on the front and 4 underneath. And then lastly, the base. That completes the assembly of the top shelf. I'm ready to now move on to the middle and the bottom, which are exactly the same as one another. Now moving on to the middle one, again, we're going to start with the dividers. We need to look at the out 2 tabs. The smaller tab here goes towards the front, and the tab further up, the divider goes to the back. With the dividers in, we're going to do the same as what we did before. Lift this up to the dividers and slot that in. Now we'll bring the back panel up to the rest of the unit. Now from here, we're going to do the same as what we did with the first one, and that is to screw it together to make it all strong. We have 2 on the back, 2 underneath and 5 on the front. Now that we've done the middle shelf, we're going to do the base shelf, and that is exactly the same as the middle one, so we're just going to repeat the same process again. Now that we've got all three shelves assembled or ready to start putting on the side panels, I'm going to start with the side that's closest to the side door and then move over to the one that's on the inside. Our orientation, this is the back of the van. We can tell that by it's quite wavy, which is dependent on the van panel that it's going against. Now our front section, we can tell this is a front because it's nice and straight. Now if we look at our shelving sections, we have the front section here, the base and the back. Same on each one, front, base, back. Now to get these together, we're going to lift this panel up and slot the shelving into there and then screw it from the opposite side. So we're going to start with the middle shelf, do the bottom shelf and do the top shelf last. So to do this, I'm going to flip this onto its back, lift the panel up, and slot that in place. So I'll now put my screws in. I've got one for the bottom and one for the back. So now we're going to do the bottom shelf, and that is the same as the middle one. And finally the top shelf, same principle again. So from this point here, we're ready to move over to the side racking. So I'm just going to pop this to one side so it's out of our way. Now moving over to the side racking, we're going to do the same as what we did before, starting with the top shelf, working our way down. The middle and the bottom shelves are the same as one another. The top one is the only one that is different from the bottom. So same as before, we're starting with the dividers, and we have the shorter end towards the front, which is this way, and the taller end towards the back. Now remember, the base piece and all the inside bits want to be the rough edge, and the smooth bit is the bit that you're going to see from the outside. Now we're going to do the front fascia, so we'll lift that up into place and then lift the back one into position. Now we're ready to put our screws in. We have 4 at the front and 4 at the back. So we've got 4 at the back, and finally I didn't mention there was 4 underneath. Lastly, we need to secure it from underneath, so we've got 4 to go on the base. Now that completes the top shelf, we're ready to move over to the middle one. So moving on to the middle one again is the same as the bottom one. So we have, starting again with our dividers, we have our front, which is facing towards you, which is the smaller bit, and our back bit, which is facing to me, is the larger of the two. Now we can lift our front fascia into place. And finally our back one into position. Now again, we're going to put the screws in. So there's 6 screws to go in, 2 at the front, 2 at the bottom and 2 at the back. So this completes the assembly of the middle shelf, and now we're going to repeat the exact same thing on the bottom shelf. Now it's the same again as what we did with the other side of the racking. That was, we need to get the orientation of the side panel. The rough side is in the inside, and then we have the front section is our straight, and the back bit is the curved part which goes towards the van. So we're going to lift our shelf up, and then we're going to do this one straight up onto here. So we'll have front, bottom, back, front, bottom, back, and then we'll repeat the same process again with the other two, and then put the other side on. So we'll lift this into position. So I'm going to grab our final side panel. Now this section here is going on the inside, and these slotted parts here are going to slip through here. So we'll lift that up. Now that this is on, we want to secure the panel, so we have screws again on the base and the back of each of the panels. Now to put the screws in the other side, I'm just going to lay the racking down, and that'll give me easy access. So same again, there's 6 screws on this side, and the top, the bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. So now we're ready to marry the two halves. The easiest way that I find this is to lay the side racking onto its back and then lift the other section up and lower it into place. Once that's in place, we can then go in with our impact driver and screw it up from the bottom. So now we're going to secure the two halves together with screws. We have 2 in each base, and then we have 3 at the back, and then we have 3 at the front. So lastly, we have the kick plates to go on. We're going to start with the shorter one, and then we have 2 screws to go in here, and then 2 down the side as well. And now we can fit the larger of the 2 kick plates. And again, we're going to secure that with 2 at the front and 2 at the back on the top, and then there's 2 at the bottom. So once this is together, we can lay it onto its base. And this completes the assembly of the Makpac corner racking. Thank you for watching.